The Replacements played on some of the same local stages as Prince before either were known internationally. I spoke with Replacements frontman, singer, and songwriter Paul Westerberg about Prince's passing.
Well, all the cliches of being in shock suddenly hit home. It truly saddened me, and it was amazing how quiet the entire neighborhood got. It just everything stopped in the neighborhood, and as a testament to his greatness. I don't know. I got a number of calls, but not as many as you would think, and I think because people still can't believe it.
It is very shocking, and I wanted to ask you because the Replacements and Prince were integral parts of the Minneapolis and Minnesota music scene in the late 70s, early 80s, and I'm just wondering if you can maybe remember back to that time and tell me a little bit about any reflections or memories that you have of coming up at that same time as Prince in Minneapolis.
Yes, it was a relief in some ways because he certainly was way beyond us. It was kind of like we were little kids playing with toy trucks, and he was Mario Andretti. There was no thought that we were even in the same league. He was. I remember seeing him play at First Avenue unannounced, and I was with a couple other musicians that I didn't really know. And a guy next to me turned to me and said, "Can you believe this? I feel embarrassed to be alive." And that's how I felt. He was so good, it made the rest of us just seem like just kids.
You have a reputation yourself as a very strong musician and songwriter, and I imagine you probably had some admiration for Prince in both of those regards. What did his music mean to you?
No, he was someone I looked up to and had sense enough to know that I could never even get in his orbit. He was truly, truly gifted. And, what didn't he do well? I mean, he did everything great. He was simply the best all-around musician, performer, composer, all rolled into one star, It was good. It was good for a little garage band like us to be around that occasionally. It added a little bit of sort of glitz and spark to our lives, I guess.
Did the two of you ever seek each other out to compare notes on music or anything else for that matter?
No, I that would be like Beethoven asking the chambermaid to help him compose something. I mean, he was a musician's musician, as they say. He was probably a musician's teacher. He was truly gifted. I mean, he was around. We recorded and played at Paisley Park, and he would be around. And I think the best thing was that he was comfortable enough when we were around for a while to allow us to see him in his sneakers and his jeans. He felt comfortable with us. He knew we were doing a different kind of thing, and he knew that we certainly weren't a threat to what he was doing, which was miles beyond us.
Mr. Westerberg, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but you are somebody who is known as a person who has a way with words, and I'm wondering if you can maybe put into perspective for me and for our listeners here what it means to folks when they lose an artist that they feel close to, someone like Prince. If you could just try to put that into words and maybe give us some perspective on those of us who are mourning this loss today.
Like I said before, the neighborhood went quiet, and I thought that was a testament to his royalty, that the saws stopped, the cars stopped, even the birds stopped for a while, and it was eerie. It was as if part of where we live had passed away, and I suppose everyone immediately reflected on their times growing up with him, with the music, and went back in their heads. And the fact that he wasn't some old guy who was done. I mean, he's still an incredible performer and composer. That made it even odder. But I don't, I'm not very good at cheering people up.
Well, it's a difficult task on a day like today, and I was just down at First Avenue, which is only about a block and a half from our newsroom here, talking to folks that were gathering, and some of them were visibly distraught, crying, very sad, mourning, obviously. Some of them had said that today the music died. Do you have any thoughts on that and that idea that the music dies? Because I don't know that that's true, but it feels that way.
Yeah, I don't know if this pertains to that, but I didn't know what to do with myself, and what I did was sort of stumbled blindly up to the store and bought some colorful clothes. And I thought he would have liked that. I felt that he was more than music. He was a ray of light in a sometimes dour and cloudy place.
Mr. Westerberg, I can't thank you enough for your time. I wish that we were speaking under different circumstances, but I greatly appreciate the opportunity to speak with you about this.
All right. Well, thank you, Scott.